Hey everyone, it's Ashton. I have not made a video in a little bit, just kind of taking a break for the next few months. I have some big ideas, kind of want to revamp some things on this channel, want to get a new camera, want to do some really awesome things, and that'll be in the future, next 24 to whatever months. I'm just taking my time, but I have some really awesome ideas, and so just be patient with me. I'll make videos as things come up in my life, and but for the rest of 2016, I'm not going to really stress about it too much. This video is going to be talking about the overly political correct culture that I hear a lot of people talking about. I think that, well, I'll say what started this whole idea to really make a video, and I haven't made a video in a while. I came across a recommended channel yesterday that was of a trans woman who made a video talking about how there are only two genders, and I clicked on the video thinking, oh, okay, cool, this is going to be just like a clickbaity thing. She's going to talk about how anybody can express themselves in any different ways, and there really isn't two genders, and it really was a video about how she believes that there are only two genders. And I get it. I understand why you would think that there are only two genders, or anybody who expresses themselves outside of that rigid binary male and female is somehow just making things up. The reality is, you don't have to understand why people identify in a way that doesn't fit the rigid conceptions of male and female. You don't have to understand it. What you do have to do is respect it. I see the world right now, and I see the word triggered kind of being thrown around as a meme to dismiss people. Oh, you're upset, you're triggered, triggered. It hurts me on such a deep fundamental level, because what people claim to be an overly political correct culture that has developed now, I see, what I view it is, the world is becoming more conscious. The world is becoming more aware of how their words hurt other people. Words are things. And if another word, another pronoun, another name, another way to describe another person's gender feels better to them, it hears to their ear better to them, then we need to respect it. We don't have to understand why they identify the way that they do. We don't have to understand why they want to use a different pronoun that isn't he or she. Maybe they want to use they because it's neutral, and because they don't really fit in an idea of masculinity and femininity in a traditional sense. We just have to respect it. We have to empathize with the fact that, hey, there's probably a reason why this person feels this way. And then maybe it'll lead us down a path of thinking, maybe there's some other things I need to question. Like, why do we have this rigid binary of male and female, when biological sex isn't even as black and white? There are people with chromosomes other than XX and XY. There are people who are intersex. There are people who their primary and secondary sex characteristics do not fit this rigid conception of male and female. Why can we not expand our minds a little bit more and just think, maybe there's a reason that the dominant culture, the dominant society has made us fit in these rigid little boxes. You know that there are surgeries? Yes, there are literally surgeries that people give to babies who have genitals that the world considers a deformity, to literally change their genitals without the child's consent to better fit a rigid conception of what a vagina or what a penis should look like when they come out of the womb. And it looks a little different down there, because guess what? Biological sex is a lot more complicated. The universe is complicated, and things happen, and things are a little bit more chaotic than we really give them credit for. This overly political correct culture is people becoming more compassionate and empathetic for other people. If someone is triggered, maybe they're voicing a deep, serious pain that they have. And maybe it might do you some justice to listen to what their experience is. Maybe their experience is one of being shut down constantly for how they feel. And maybe it's very valid. It is very valid. It saddens me to such a deep level that people want to complain about an overly political correct culture. Guess what? Social media has given people a platform to really speak their true personal experiences. People are able to say now, yes, in 2016, I experienced racism. Yes, I experienced sexism. Yes, I experienced all these different levels of the dominant society making them feel oppressed. Yes, that's a real thing. And instead of shutting them down, we could listen, we could become empathetic, we could say, hey, how do my thoughts, how do the things that come out of my mouth hurt and affect another person? Dismiss it as overly political correct if you want to, or expand your mind to think of a lot of ways that the very rigid views that you've been taught to believe, like male and female are only the two little tiny boxes that exist, are just false. And then maybe you might discover a few other things about yourself. I don't know. I guess I don't really know what else to say about this topic other than the fact that this overly political correct culture that people want to take a crap on, I see it as the global consciousness of people is really rising. And people are becoming more empathetic, more compassionate, more loving, more willing to hear other people's personal experiences, and more willing to jump outside of their own really, really stark, blank, boring ideas. Because guess what? Masculinity, femininity, gender neutrality, any conception of gender, it doesn't really matter what you identify with. It's just a feeling. Guess what? I feel masculine. You know what? Pause. I'm gonna say something. I wasn't planning on saying this, but you know what? I'm gonna say it. I no longer really identify with the rigid conceptions of masculinity and femininity and male and female. I transitioned physically to have a female to male transition. But do I really feel male all the time? Do I really fit this rigid conception of what a man should be? No. I identify with masculinity. I identify with taking testosterone. I identify with wanting a flatter chest and looking like this and having more muscles and having other masculine secondary sex characteristics. But you know what? I don't have any plans on having any bottom surgery down there, because what I got down there, although it's not a penis to what cis sexist society would tell me that it is, it works for me. And I'm okay to embrace these parts of myself that society would call feminine, because doing things like taking testosterone and changing my chest surgery, you know, doing all this has made me feel better. And we have to let people express what makes them feel better. Sometimes I don't feel like, you know, when I'm at work and people are like, sir, I'm just like, yeah, for all intents and purposes, I am a man. For all intents and purposes, I am a sir. But I'm a lot bigger than that. I am the entire universe, the galaxies, the stars. I am anything I want to be in this world. And to put me in a tiny little box doesn't even really begin to tell you anything about me. Recognize my masculinity because it comes out, but also recognize my femininity because that's what I have as well. And I love it and I embrace it. So maybe I'm genderqueer. I'm queer about my gender. When it really comes down to it, I'm just me. So once I kind of dropped the rigid conceptions that society has been telling me to fit into, male and female or whatever, and maybe when I started to embrace that, hey, this overly political correct culture is actually people becoming more empathetic and compassionate about how their words and things they say and things that they feel about other people really matter, I've become so much more at peace with who I am, and it's opened up such a bigger world for me. So I urge anybody that has any beliefs that are really rigid to really do some deep spiritual digging. Is it a society view that you're holding on to? Is it society's view, or is that your own view? Because my own view is, yeah, I get that society is telling me there's male and female, but my own view is, oh, that other person is hurt when I call them he or she. That other person is hurt. Maybe I should listen to that other person, and I should say and use the words that feel better to them, because I'm an empathetic and compassionate person. You don't have to understand, but you do have to respect it. That's all I guess I'm gonna say. So I love every single person that watches all of my videos. You can like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me out. You can follow me on Instagram, any other social media, all that below, because I'm supposed to say this and promote other things that I do, when in reality I'm just kind of taking a step back from social media and doing my own little personal development work. But I'm going to put this video up because I was just so deeply saddened by a fellow transgender person putting up a video about how there are only two genders and get the F over it. I don't know. It just tells me that that person isn't really willing to expand their mind or see how another person could be hurt by their words. So, I love you. Have an awesome rest of your day. Stay awesome. Stay you, stay your truth, stay your purpose, because the only other person that can tell you what your feelings are valid are you, and if the rest of the world doesn't get it, that's on them, but you can still rock it out and be happy, and I love you. So, yeah, peace and blessings, or whatever.